Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man.
For I am the man himself.
Hello all, and what is going on? How y'all doing? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here for my review for this past week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Of course, as you see now, I did update it with a Dynamite logo below instead of just an AEW logo. As again, occasionally, definitely not this weekend, you will see me probably popping in here and there to doing a Collision review. Here and there. Again, I don't know when I'll do another one again, but definitely not tonight. Again, I am just super busy. One more week till the wedding, guys. And after the wedding, again, hopefully things will not be as chaotic. But we'll, of course, see what happens through there. I'm going to be 100% honest. I did watch this episode of Dynamite. I don't quite remember it all, if I'm being honest. I just been like back and forth, tons of stuff going on. So I feel I'm going to wait till the end of the show to determine a grade, just to kind of like refresh my memory. It's one of those shows that, yes, I watched it. Yes, it was the go-home show. I know we had Kazuchika Okada come out to confront Daniel Bryan and called him out. We heard from Eddie Kingston. We had the thing with the blind tag team tournament get announced, and the first team that's announced is in fact MJF and Adam Cole, Bay, and a few other things that happened that I know of as well. But for some reason, like getting ready to do this review, I'm like, what grade would I give this show? It's just like it's like a creative block currently I have. So we'll talk about the review. We'll talk about the show. I have like my cheat sheet here for my notes. Remind me of what exactly all happened on the show. And then by the end of the show, like, I'm thinking maybe like B, I'm thinking, for this show. Again, it was good. Again, though, it's the build to Forbidden Door. A pay-per-view that, again, I am interested in. I am going to watch it tomorrow. But again, I'm not doing a preview for it, as again, I still don't know too many of these New Japan guys. But the card, again, does seem pretty stacked. There is one match, of course, again, I mentioned last week that is going to be good, but I wish it was something else, but I'll talk about that. We also got CM Punk getting a match at Forbidden Door, as he is going to be involved in the Owen Hart tournament, which is starting at Forbidden Door. Unfortunately, it's not going to be against who we originally hoped it would be. We thought it was going to be Kenta, and now it's going to be against, I can't remember his name, but we'll talk about it. So this is going to kind of be like a quick, brief review. Who knows? It'll probably be longer as always. But we'll talk about it and go from there. We were in Chicago still. After we were in Chicago also on last Saturday for the debuting episode of AEW Collision, which I thought was a success. And I do hope tonight's episode is good as well. I'm not watching it tonight, but again, I'll probably at least see what all happened on the show. And we'll go from there. So anyways, the show opened up with a match with the Guns, or the Ass Boys, Austin and Colton Gunn, taking on the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. The match was fine for this one. Like I said, I just don't know, even after a brief like title run that like it made sense, I still just don't see the Ass Boys as like a big threat. They're still not like, something's still missing for me with the Guns, and I don't know what it is. Even though, again, they had a title reign that it made sense I don't know if it's I just still wasn't feeling them. I don't know. I'm just not. They're not clicking for me still, but yet they have a purpose. Matt and Jeff look solid. The Ass Boys though win with the 310 to Yuma. After the match, though, Jay White and Juice Robinson came out to beat down Matt and Jeff Hardy. This was apparently to write off Matt and Jeff for a couple weeks, as Jeff Hardy is not able to go outside the United States due to his recent DUIs and whatnot. So he can't travel internationally. But we did have Ricky Starks and FTR come out to make the save. And then, sure enough, also, he was getting the chance. He came out. CM Punk showed up on Dynamite. No song. He just ran out and the crowd just popped. And he came out there and he helped and they cleared house. And then Punk gets on the mic and says if they want to fight so bad, they'll fight their asses on Saturday at Collision. And he even said a line there's like, yeah, I know, I'm not supposed to be here. Which I don't know if that was a shot towards the counterfeit Bucks, well, the Elite, because, you know, they're probably keeping them on separate shows for a reason. Or if that's a shot at, like, you know, because I thought about this. Like, okay, people are saying that CM Punk is apparently Collision exclusive only. But then again, it's not a full-on brand split. There's some stars that are probably going to get more heavily featured on one show than the other, but they're still going to appear on both shows. I took this as like, okay, it's like, remember a couple weeks ago on Raw when AJ Styles came out and he goes, I know, I'm a SmackDown star, I'm not supposed to be here. I wonder if that could have been a shot towards like them also saying, you know, I know, I'm breaking a brand split rule because that's what wrestling fans bitch about these days. I do too, I'm guilty of it. By cracked up. So that's set up for a 8-man tag on Collision tonight. CM Punk, Ricky Starks, and FTR versus the Ass Boys or the Guns and the Golden Bull Club Gold with Jay White and Juice Robinson. I'm still surprised that maybe they announced it on Collision. I'm still surprised they didn't do a match between FTR and Bullet Club Gold, though, for this pay-per-view. I really thought they were going to. But, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Again, I'm still going to watch tomorrow night. But again, I'm not going to guarantee... I'm not going to do a preview, of course. I'm just going to do a review afterwards, not a preview. But we got that. And then we got a video package with Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Sanjay Dutt talking about how they need to end this once and for all. And Jeff's going to kick Mark Briscoe's ass. And Jeff Jarrett and Mark Briscoe has this concession stand brawl. It was fine, what I saw from it. Sanjay Dutt and a few others of Jeff Jarrett's buddies got involved. But then, of course, Mark Briscoe's dad got involved and slammed Jay Lethal through a timekeeper's table. About to segue in, because who also came out to help, because Karen Jarrett got involved as well. But Christopher Daniels, though, also got involved. And then the Lucha Bros came out, too, to kind of help out. But Mark Briscoe does come away with the schoolboy pin. I guess we're moving on from something different for them, or I don't know what they're doing. But, again, as I keep saying, I just don't get why Jeff Jarrett is just as heavily featured as he is. But, whatever. Backstage, we got the Blackpool Combat Club with Don Callis and with Konosuke Takeshita. Mox says that at Forbidden Door, they've got a truly elite team. They challenged the Elite to a 5-on-5 with Shota Umino joining them. Bryan says he's challenging Kazuchika Okada to face-to-face, but he's not even here, and he knows why. So many call Okada the best of his generation, but against Danielson, it'll be clear he's nothing but an amateur. She's going to go out there and call out Kazuchika Okada. If he don't show up, he'll prove to everyone that he's an amateur and a coward. We also had, which I thought this was supposed to be a tag match, which in the end it's not. I thought it was going to be a tag match with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Sting and Darby Allin. But they're saving that. There's fireworks going on out right now. They're saving that though for Forbidden Door, because it's going to be, I can't remember, it's going to be Chris, Sammy, and Suzuki versus Sting, Darby, and a partner of their choice. And they're going to be announcing that partner of their choice on Collision tonight. But until then, the Les Sex Gods, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, who teased a breakup last week, teamed up with Minoru Suzuki, and they took on a team of Action Andretti, haven't seen him for a while, AR Fox, and Darius Martin. The one part of Top Flight that's not hurt right now, because they always get hurt. Again, fun match. Eventually, though, Jericho, the Les Sex Gods get the victory with the Lion Tamer from Jericho onto Darius Martin. Afterwards, though, Renee Paquette interviews Jericho about sharing the ring with Sting, which, again, this will be the first time, even though they've been in the business for a long time, Chris Jericho and Sting have never met in the ring. He grabbed the mic and says everyone was so excited except for him with sharing the ring with Sting, because he's known Sting for a long time. He's selfish, egotistical, and he only shows up for the highest bidder, not Harlequin, but a whore. He challenges Sting and Darby to a trios match against him and Sammy and Minoru at Forbidden Door, and then we had Sting and Darby come out and they tell him that they'll find out their partner at Collision. Then we have the Elite answering to the Blackpool Combat Club's challenge. Hangman says with Kenny out for his match with Will Ospreay, that leaves them 3 against 5. But they have friends all over. And Kenny says when the chips are down, they needed a friend. They found one in an unexpected place. Which, of course, is Eddie Kingston, who rolls up and says he doesn't like or respect them, but he hates Claudio Castagnoli more. And he wants the 5th guy to be a guy he picks. And he'll make the announcement, which he does later on in the show. Then we get Adam Cole in the ring, and he talks about his match with MJF last week. He also mentions how neither of them won, and basically he wants a rematch. MJF comes out and he says, the world champ has a mic, you keep your poor mouth shut. He congratulated Cole for coming out to play, giving him the Panama Playboy back, and better than ever. And we all know that he had the time not run out, he had Adam beat. So he then turns down Cole's challenge for a rematch. And then Cole says he fears it's going to happen, so how about they fight right now, and he just whoops his ass in Chicago. But then Tony Schiavone stands up and he announces that there's going to be a blind tag team tournament, and that the first draw was MJF and Adam Cole teaming up. And of course, either men are happy about that. Then Hiroshi Tanahashi comes out to call MJF a coward and tells them to show up at Forbidden Door so he can show him the strength of New Japan and the power of the Ace. And then MJF tells him off, but then Cole starts getting in his head. He's like, don't you want to prove that you're not a coward? Because, you're not saying you think that Tanahashi's better than him. And then, of course, MJF snaps and then accepts Tanahashi's challenge. So that match is official as well. We then also had a fun tag match with Daniel Garcia and Zack Sabre Jr. teaming up against Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata. It was another good match. The faces, though, the heels came away with the victory after Orange Cassidy accidentally hit Shibata with the Orange Punch. And then we're informed that the match on Sunday is going to be a fatal 4-way for the AEW International Championship. And it'll be all 4 men in this match. Orange Cassidy, Katsuyori Shibata, Daniel Garcia, and Zack Sabre Jr. That is going to be an awesome match, but when they first had Zack Sabre Jr. show up face-to-face with Orange Cassidy, oh gosh, I just thought, again, Zack Sabre Jr. is someone that I haven't seen many of his matches, but I liked him when he was in the Cruiserweight Classic back in 2016. And I thought he had an excellent match with Claudio Castagnoli last year, who replaced Bryan Danielson. And I still hope someday we get, maybe we may not, I don't know, but I do hope someday we do get Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., which would be an awesome match. But especially after I thought about his match with Will Ospreay last year, I really wanted to see Orange Cassidy just go one-on-one with Zack Sabre Jr. But we're getting a fatal 4-way. It'll still be good, but dang, did I really want that singles match. But, you know. Will Ospreay's interviewed, and he demands that AEW give him some security. Don Callis Robin says, you'll need special security, especially in Toronto. He'll make his own personal military-grade security available from a Forbidden Door. Will asks what he wants for his trouble, and Don Callis says he just wants to see a fair fight and a 1-2-3. No, he wants to see him take out Kenny, by God, Omega. We also have been told that there will be an AEW Women's World Title match also, and it will be Toni Storm taking on Willow Nightingale, who is the, I forgot what they call it now, the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, or whatever it was called. The title that Mercedes Monet was supposed to win before she got hurt. So we're having this match instead. Kris Statlander and Taya Valkyrie had a good match for the TBS title. Of course, this is a follow-up as Taya, of course, has shown some frustration, of course, when she won the TBS title, but she kept missing out. But then Kris Statlander comes back and she takes it right off of Jade. Kris does win with the Wednesday Night Fever. And again, so far, good reign for Statlander. And then we ended with a couple promos. First, it was Eddie Kingston, who announces that the 5th pick for the Elite's team is Tomohiro Ishii. Of course, Jon Moxley came into the crowd because Eddie mentioned his name. And of course, we all know Moxley and Kingston are very good friends. Moxo came to the ring to confront Eddie, and Eddie hands a mic to say his piece. Then Mox says, if they stand behind you, protect them. If they stand beside you, stand with them. If they stand against you, destroy them. And Eddie says Mox drew the line, not him. And he loves Mox as a brother. And he demands John to say what he started to say about every time. Mox puts his hands on Eddie, but Eddie says he doesn't have time for this and announces again Ishii as the 5th member. So, of course, that brought out Ishii, and then the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club then attacked Eddie Kingston, but then the numbers game just got to them. And then Bryan calls out Kazuchika Okada, and he says if he doesn't come down here, he's going to stomp Tomohiro Ishii's face in. He was about to, but then Okada did show up. And then him and Bryan get in the ring of a stare down. But then Wheeler Yuta tried to attack Okada from behind. And then instead, Okada ducked Bryan's Busaiku knee. And it hits Wheeler instead. And then he goes for a Rainmaker. But then Bryan slipped out on the floor. And they have a stare down. And that's how the show ends. I still say I'd give it probably about a B. Again, it was good. Maybe I would give it a little bit more because there was some interesting things that happened, but it just didn't quite have like as much of the punch as recent shows have. But still good. Good go-home show. Gave it a B. Again, I will be watching Forbidden Door tomorrow night. We'll see how late it gets tonight. Hopefully, I'll be uploading this video at some point tonight. Hopefully, I will get to do my Money in the Bank preview predictions. I would want to wait till next week, but again, with how busy I'm going to be for the wedding, I just decided that I should do it now. That way I don't have to worry about it next week. But once again, hopefully after next week, things will be better. Again, I'm just super busy right now. The wedding is 1 week away. I'm excited. My fiance is excited. It's going to be great. So, a B for this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. What are your thoughts on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite? What are your thoughts also on the build for Forbidden Door? Will you be watching Forbidden Door as well? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at @theclubwiththeman93. And also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at theclubwiththeman1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking it out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your evening. And don't forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself.